So, hello. This will be the last meeting before our trip to the United States and Vietnam. So we will be away from for I think like 4 weeks. So you can look at my website. I think it's like the 25 October 25 that there will be new meetings again. Maybe we are recording some meetings there, but I'm not sure yet. So you will see it. And yeah, there's only this. There's no traveling. There's just this. There's maybe sitting. But when there's traveling in a plane, it's sitting, looking out of the window, seeing the sky, and that's everything. It's not going anywhere. It's just sitting. It's crazy. The mind and the brain can abstract so well. So they fill in the gaps, and it seems like there's a whole story and time involved and distance. So we assume there's going to some places and there's time before and after. There was happening something before, and that's why I feel like this. There's only this. It's very literally only this. There can be information about a war, maybe. Then that information is what is. That's everything. And then just looking at a tree, then there's that tree. That's everything. We assume that when we see information or see something happening, there's time involved and a place, and there's some people over there and a lot of ideas about what's going on over there. It's that information or that image or that video. That's everything, and then it's something else. Nothing is real. It's an appearance of that, and then there's a glass of water, and then there's images of some place somewhere in America. It's that. So it's literally only that. So there's no time, there's no distance, there's only that, what is apparently happening. So there's no story, there's no individuals involved, because there's no one. There's not a body that's real, and that's a continuation, and my life is a continuous going, and I have to deal with things. It's an illusion. That seems so strong that there's my life, and because there's thinking in time. Time is a construct. So there's no time. There's only that what is happening. And that's very literally, very neutral. So there's nothing happening. There's only that appearance that can be there, the wall, a feeling, sound, smell, the table, whatever. And that's it. There's no story. There's no one. There's no me. There's no you. There's not a body like Rose and she has no me anymore. No, there's no Rose. There's no life of Rose. There can be an imagination and there can be going on in the story and doing shopping and living in that house and all that. In that sense, there seems to be a story. That's the paradox. The brain can still abstract when everything is lost. Still, everything is going on. But for no one, it's empty. Everything is empty. It's full on. That doesn't mean it's no feeling. The feelings are full on, and there's no way to escape from what's going on because that's not arising. And there can be a lot of thoughts about how it's going and looking at it and all that. Those thoughts are what is happening. They don't have any meaning. And maybe you feel like, yeah, but it's important and all that. So then it sticks and trying to deal with that. And that what goes on. There's nothing wrong with anything, but it can be annoying or frustrating or cost a lot of energy. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's what is happening. It's not about saying that to yourself, because I see people doing that. It's just what's happening. It's what it is and all that. Most of the time with things that are not so nice. It has nothing to do with saying things to yourself. That's a way of dealing with what's going on. That's still that you could say a me. There never has been me. There never has been something that's a center. There's no center. There's no one doing things or deciding or having a free will, you could say, or choice. There's no center. There's that face, those legs, a feeling, the wall. It's that. Very neutral as it is. So there's no story already. And it can be because the brain imagines and fills in the gaps and all that. That seems to be a story. But it doesn't have any meaning, doesn't go anywhere. That's the freedom. It doesn't go anywhere. That doesn't have meaning. It's what it is. That's it. That's the aliveness. And that doesn't mean it's nice, because that's can be the confusion also. Then when there's a feeling of like that, then it feels like, yeah, there's still the me going on. It has nothing to do with me. That's life. Life is everything. So there can be that feeling or something else. There's nothing because of anything. So there's no time. So there's no consequences or no because of why. There are no answers. It's exactly what it is, and that's it. It's that way. It's very, very, very simple. There's no need for explanation. There's no need to know or to clarify. There can be a talking about this, but there's no need. And there can be a listening to explanations. Nothing is right or wrong, but it doesn't give anything because it's already complete as it is. There's no need for anything. So that what's going on, maybe there are a lot of thinking, then that's what's happening. There's nothing wrong with that, or it's not a special thing that should change. No, it's already complete as it is. Without meaning, it's just what it is. It's the very simplicity of that. Easy, because there's no one deciding, so there's nothing going on about free will or what I want. Life doesn't see me or you. It's energy going in a certain way. Not even going. It is. It is. So maybe there are questions, and there can be also questions in the story, because there seems to be some issues. There can be some issues about anything, about, oh, there can be some issues about what's going on, about money or relations or whatever. That all those questions can also be asked. How do you say that? That can be done, put. No, I don't know how to say that. Uh, you can ask anything or say anything, share maybe if you want to. And we will see what the answer. I don't know. This is not a knowing or I'm being sure about what's going on. When there's that energy and there's a meeting and a sharing of something, there can be some talking about it. We will see what happens. If you want to say something, you can unmute yourself or you can use the chat, or nothing, saying nothing, just sitting maybe. Nice to see you. It's even the body isn't real. And that can be so strange because everything, when there's life and I'm in my body and I'm living my life, then that maybe circumstances, what I had, circumstances can be, yeah, that can be an appearance, but the body is always there. That seems so solid and real. And when there are feelings, it seems like the feelings are happening in the body, or thoughts are my thoughts. And it can be really strange to hear that thoughts are in space, in the air. It's just happening. It's not yours or mine. Even, and it's the same with feelings or sensations, like sound. It's somewhere in space. It's not yours. It's just that sound. So everything is singular. There's no relation. That's crazy. We are so into relation, and because of this is that, and all a why, and trying to understand and making it into something that you can have in your hands and have control. It's all out of the window. It's just what it is, for no reason. It's so free. It's so free. It can be frightening because that freedom, we're not used to that freedom. We're used to that everything is more like solid and real and a bit like contracted and having maybe a little bit of control and all that. And suddenly, buff, there's only freedom. Doesn't go anywhere. It's not even yours. It's that what's happening. That's it. Hmm. When I'm here and I'm living my life and then suddenly everything seems solid and real and living in time and all that. So when there's information about other countries, about something that goes on in Ukraine or somewhere else, also that seems very solid, and we assume then there's that country is real and that what's really going on, and there's a story with that, and there's a before and there's after. That information, when that's seen on television, maybe, then that's everything. It's an appearance of that information, and that's everything. And then there's drinking coffee, and and that's everything. So there's no continuation. Nothing is real. It's an appearance. It's this. There's only that. So drinking tea is that. What's happening? That's the only thing there is. Or something else. And it's everything. It doesn't matter what it is. It's that as it is. For no reason, no why. And the brain still functions, so there can be that's the paradox of living in coming home, and then in that place is there, and it looks seemingly the same, and having breakfast and all that. It seems like living your life. But the freedom is it's not your life, it's just what's happening. But it's not all the time like, oh, this is an appearance. Oh, this is an appearance. No, it's much more simple. It's just what's going on. So it seems like a story, and it isn't. That's the paradox. That still goes on, like living and going on a trip and doing things. And at the same time, it's very obvious. It's only that information sitting, thoughts. That's everything. Shouting. There's no need to understand this. That's also because we're so also a lot of time we're busy trying to be clear or to understand, and when that's finally is clear, maybe it will be more. I have more rest and all that. This is not about being clear or understanding. When there's no understanding, maybe there can be a resonance, something like that. But not really understanding, then that resonance is it. Doesn't matter if there's understanding or not. Ah, what do you think about thinking? Negative thought attacks seems to ruin the peace and seems to so serious and real. Yeah, but yeah, negative thoughts. There's no negative of positive. There can be thoughts you can't do that. Yeah, then that's the thought. What we there's when there's me, it's taking it very seriously and thinking like, and it seems like it's affecting anything. It doesn't affect anything because thoughts are only thoughts. They don't have any power. So that's what we normally think. Nothing has any power. It's what it is. Thoughts. Like I don't know how to say it. Thoughts. And there can be a kind of idea, and there can be a feeling, and it's so quickly like because that negative thought and I'm feeling like more contracted or it's something like that. So that it seems like there's a relation between that. So then, because me wants to feel good, it's trying to find out how can I change that so I feel good again. So, and that's it's always the same story. That what is happening is not all right, and what can because I don't feel good, and that how can I change that? It can be about negative thoughts, it can be about circumstances, it can be about relation, your mother, I don't know, anything about yourself behaving. It's always something. Me jumps always on something that's not all right yet, or it has to change, or because if you do that, then it's not going well. Life isn't about feeling good. There is no one. So it's everything. When there's someone and having my body and my life, then suddenly there's something gone wrong and I have to make it right. And I'm not good enough maybe, and there should be something else. And so that whole construct is there to help to make it better, but it's an illusion. And when that whole construct, like me construct, you could say, or that being busy trying to change, falls away, nothing falls away in the same time because it's only those thoughts and ideas and all that beliefs, and that's not happening. But they didn't have any power. In that way, that what is happening still goes on, you could say in that way. So there was no influence. There is no influence. That's the idea of living in time. It's already complete as it is, but we don't want that. We think like, yeah, but this can't be it because that feels so horrible and frustrating and tense and all that. Yeah, that's life too. Can be everything. Everything is everything. So it's also that. So this is not about more relaxed or that. That's more the spiritual thing, that trying to relax and feeling more free. When I talk about freedom, it's not a feeling. It's not feeling free. Freedom is that it's everything. There's no choice in this or that. That's the freedom. It's everything. And suddenly, when it's everything, it's like, oh, there's something else about it. It's life, full on. Ah, well, we are so used to go in a certain way, and this is better, and it should be different, and all that. So that's focusing on that, being busy, and that whole aliveness. What's the only thing there is? It's you could say it's more in the background. It's just there. It's just there. But the focus is on how can I do this? How can I change? How can And it seemed like, oh, I have to let that go. But that's the same thing like having control and thinking when I let it go, then it will be better. There's no hope. It's in that way, it seems like awful. But I think hope is awful because that's always confirming that this isn't right. You should do something. No, it's already as it is. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing awful or nice. It's what it is. Pain, panic. Of course, full on. And yet, when there's nothing trying to change it, it's suddenly it's that panic, full on, or fear, or whatever feeling, or anything. When that construct is suddenly, for a moment, not there, it's not that. Then it's like, oh, it's what it is. And that's amazing. Oh, and then before, when that's like being busy with that, trying to, oh, it's what it is. Yeah, I have to say then it's trying to do something with it. But when that suddenly is lost, which you can't do, of course, it suddenly can happen. It's like, oh, yeah, of course. It's amazing. So this is not about doing or result or in the end, things like that. No. It's already.
Hi, Rose.
Hi.
Hi. I was just thinking, it is lovely that it can't be clear.
Sorry,
That
I
somehow
didn't hear.
it
Sorry,
is
say it again.
it
Yeah,
is lovely that
yeah,
I can't be clear. I'm always
yeah,
looking to be clear,
yeah,
but somehow I don't. This isn't. You have made it clear that
yeah,
I can't be clear.
yeah.
Can't be clear about this, and that is in itself a relief, actually.
Ah, I can hear that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Because then you have something, and then you hold on to that,
Yeah,
and yeah,
yeah, yeah. And
mm,
it always seems to slip through the fingers.
yeah, yeah. That's the beauty, in a way. Can be frustrating, but it's also the beauty.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. But because we normally want to have a result or go. It's like what we normally have. We on the road. We are on the road. We developing and evolution and all that. So we think like it's in the end there will be something, and then they're saying no, it's already. It's like that's a complete reverse of the way we're thinking and the behaving and all that. So that's oh, nothing in the hand. That and normally about control, it's trying to get hold of something and be clear, and then suddenly that's the relief. And the funny thing is, it's not when there's no control, there can be a fear of oh everything is going wrong when I don't do that, and then there's oh it has nothing to do with that. Yeah.
And that it almost can be both at the same time.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, you come home and it's the furniture is exactly the same, and it doesn't have to be that. Oh, this is an appearance all the time, and But
Yeah.
I think I was expecting that
Ah.
I would see that,
Mm. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
somehow the appearance would be different from the appearance.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can yeah, understand what you say. Yeah. It has to be different because this can't it isn't this and what is it?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sure. It's more like for me it's more like not being busy with anything. And that's it's just normal in that way it's very normal and just coming home not maybe seeing the couch but not really and just I don't know, just
yeah,
doing. Yeah. Yeah. It's that. And there can be moments suddenly like, oh, well, so what? That can be, but doesn't need to.
yeah. And maybe here that me for me the surprise is that it's not that suddenly it's different, but that it's not.
Yeah, but that it's not. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's more it. Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Yeah, that's it. Oh God, yeah, yeah. I can remember that moment. What I had in the sauna, and it was like suddenly like, oh, well, already it was like that, and it was in a subtle second. There was a disappointment because I had that same idea, like it would be shining or I don't know what, but something different, and it was. Oh, yeah, of course it was already. Yeah, yeah. Oh, wow. Thank
Great.
you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for this. Yeah. That is somebody. Sometimes it feels or seems to be difficult if it is needed to go to the doctor or not. There seems to when there's something going on and there's thinking like, oh, should I go to the doctor or not? There can be a lot of thinking about that. But that going to the doctor or not had nothing to do with the decision. That's strange. Suddenly there's like, yeah, and then you go, or you think you go and then there's happening something else and then you don't. I don't know. It's just what's happening.
It's so amazing that nothing is wrong.
Nothing is wrong. No, of course not. That oh, it's huge. That's we're so into that. It's so embodied that feeling. It's not about right and wrong because maybe most of the people are already like it's not about good, but then it's natural or it has other names. And it's still there's a dividing or who say that this one and that's it's two. It's what it is. Yeah. But not saying that because that's already also something else. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's suddenly that can be suddenly noticed that everything that it me or that whole country is jumping on everything. It's coloring everything. Maybe that feeling there's something not enough or I'm not good enough or all that. And on top of that, there's always, yeah, this can I do this like this? Oh, maybe I should. Oh, then, wow, it's amazing how strong that is, and it seems so important to be busy with that, and how strong that is, and it doesn't have any meaning or any, but it seems so important. That's it's amazing. Yeah. You can't say like, oh, I won't do that anymore because that's the same. Oh my God, you can't get rid of it. Whoa. No, of course, because then it's wrong. Oh, it's like seems like you're stuck if that's suddenly like so obvious and so I can remember that. It's so obvious, like, oh, and you can't stop it because that's the same story again. So you don't know where to go. Yeah. In that way, this is not a nice meeting because there can be like, oh, what's going on? That it can be a feeling of that. There can be a relief, but it's not always that. Of course not. Mm.
Thanks.
Mm.
Hi, Rose. Um,
Hi.
uh, it's just a question arise. I understand there's nothing wrong.
Mm.
There's just what's happening and it's just real, unreal. Um, like considering about a collective impact when there's a earthquake or something, a lot of people get killed or so. One side when there nobody's left, okay, there's just what's happening. There's just an earthquake.
mm,
when there's a lot of people living, a lot of people are involved, there seems to be a heavy impact that could go over seemingly generations.
mm,
They lost
mm,
their home, they get a
mm,
lot of trauma in the area and whatever. It seems to be a long-lasting impact.
mm.
Could you say something about that? What's there happening? Just on one side, what I understand is just an appearance, but on the other side, there seems to be a really heavy impact in some form.
And when there's me, there's living in time.
Yeah.
So there's when there's an earthquake, it's that, and there's that's everything. What there's how can you say? It's so convincing that there's a time, and it's after that it's something going on and going on. So it's completely out of the normal way of thinking. That everything is just what it is,
Mm.
and we are so used to making a story in time. There are consequences there, this is related to that, and I'm living like this because of that, and it's still holding on to that thing, that why. And then there's that story of my life, because when there's me, there's a continuously going, confirming that I am existing, and this is my life, and this is what's happening to me in that way. And then there's confirmation about science, and everything is confirming that it's part of the story. There can be there can be being in it, of course, and there can be information about it. That's already different, because that information, when you see it on television, it's that, and that's everything, that's, and then it's gone, and it's just that. When there's being in it, it's that. I can't say how that is, because I don't know. But it's when there's someone, there's always a story about why, and a continuation. There is no continuation. But when there's me, there's always trying to prove, or feel of seeing proof about what was going on, and this is why it's there.
Because there seems to be external view when I see or hear about an earthquake somewhere. Say,
Mm,
okay, that's what's happening, and I don't really care about it.
mm,
But when you live in the area and your whole family and the whole neighborhood and
mm-hmm,
so on
mm,
is destroyed, it
yeah.
seems to have a quite kind of really different story, more or less.
Yeah, there can be like there's something happening, and there's the people around dying. They don't, you don't see them anymore. They already, it was already like that, because we
Mm.
assume that everybody is real, and when they are, you don't see them, they will come back, and then suddenly they don't come back. So there's death, and that can be, and there's so many concepts about life. There was already no one. That
Yeah,
whole assuming that there's someone, and that's living there, and it's my mother, or, and that's already that story and relation. That's really important. So when there's a loss of that people, the body doesn't move anymore, then suddenly there's, because that whole construct about the relation, that's lost. So it's not, it was already like that, but that whole construct. So there's also, there can be crying. Yeah, there can be crying. We always assume it's because of those circumstances. I don't know. There
yeah,
can be sadness. Yeah, there can be. And sometimes there it's not. Look at little children. They walk around, and they just walk around.
yeah,
It's different. So it's the suffering is more the holding on to that what is lost, and I can't live like
yeah,
that, and all that. That's more the suffering. If you look at little children, they don't see it like that. So they don't see meaning in things. That's amazing that you see, like, oh, so it's that. Of course, there can be hunger and crying, but then that's it.
what's
There's
happening
no
here?
story. It's
Yeah,
completely different.
yeah. Because I mean, there's clear that for a single person, it seems okay, this kind of story could collapse, but all the other people around more or less seems to have an impact for them. So that what appears more or less. And
Yeah.
somehow it seems that everyone is get involved somehow. There's no other person somehow. There's
No.
there's just what's happening, but it's really hard to see more or less that there's just an appearance more or less when there's so heavy impact.
But it's not. It doesn't need to see that it's an appearance, because when there's in that earthquake, I don't know, but I can't imagine that when there's an earthquake, I'm thinking, yeah, it's only an appearance. No, it's like, oh my God, what's going on? Whoa! I don't know.
Mm.
It's just for that, and running maybe, or I don't know. It's just it's very normal that, but to hold on the story about I've lost this and all that, that can be, it's not seeing someone. I can't explain. It's complete. I don't know how to say that. How that is.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't say that. Like it's much more normal than we assume. We have an image about when there's no one, or you see it as an appearance, and it's no, it's full on. So there's also running, or I don't know, whatever, screaming. Is that, or maybe crying and after and all that. Well, the story isn't. There can be a story for a while, and then it's gone. Like, it's very quickly gone. So it's not seeing someone. That's, you can't even describe how that is. But we have a lot of stories about what will go on when there's an earthquake, or
Yeah.
you live on an island, or yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, thing. Hmm. And also, when there's no one, anything can happen. So an earthquake can come and the house is destroyed. Yeah, of course. I don't know what will happen. We don't know. We are trying to make it safe and all that. We can't. There's no safety, or unsafety. Yeah. Nothing has any meaning. That's crazy because so quickly that there's a thought maybe coming or a feeling, and it feels like suddenly like, what is that? And oh, what am I thinking? And what about maybe traveling or something else? It doesn't matter. And there can be thoughts like, oh, how can you do that? And yeah, there can be. Well, yeah, so what? Then that's coming, and it's it's there, and then after a while, it's not. So yeah,
Hi, Rose.
hi,
Hi. Yeah, what you say about the thoughts that can come, it's like they can feel so urgent. It's like life and death almost. And it can be
ah,
just a
mm,
little thing. I mean, it's just, and then
y-
it's gone. I mean, it
yeah,
can be really intense, like, wow, this is so important or something, it's
yeah,
such,
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah. And then it's just, what was that? It's like,
And then you think, what was I thinking?
yeah.
You don't know. Yeah. So, or maybe the phone is ringing, and then you think, and then what was that? What was? And then you're completely gone. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I just want
Ah,
to say that.
yeah.
Because
Yeah. That's
it
good.
feels
Yeah.
so like in the moment it can feel so like real or so
Mm,
important, and then
yeah. It's
yeah,
amazing how that it's so much like knocking at your door.
yeah,
It's really, really. No, it's just no one home. It's
yeah,
just going. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, great. Yeah, sure. Ah, there's somebody. Last week there was one night when I felt pain in my heart. Then I must immediately thinking about the Buddhist teaching when it was good to feel the pain in the heart. Oh. Later there was a thought coming to do the heart meditation, and I didn't. It's crazy that it's all meaningless. We're so busy. We can be so busy with what's going on in our body because we think it's our body. We have to take care. And there can be fear because when there's a disease or something, maybe you think it's not working well. Oh my God, the fear, and what can I do? And what can I do to make it right again? And all that. Because we're so busy and convinced that you are the leader. You have to do something about it, or maybe the doctor, or maybe yourself, or whatever. It's life. There can be pain, and it's not even in the body. It's happening somewhere. We take it home and thinking like, what is this, and I have to do with this and all that. It's not even yours. It's that can be, and that it doesn't mean it's like, oh, everything is okay. No, not at all. There can be pain, and suddenly there's phoning a doctor, or there's something else. I don't know. There can be anything. It doesn't matter what. That's what's happening. It's not you doing it. It's just what's happening. And I can be doing a meditation or not. So what? Yeah. Everything is meaningless. It's what it is. Pain can be there. But this is not about not doing or doing. It has nothing to do with that. That's also an idea, a new concept. It's what is happening. Running to the doctor. I don't know. It just can be anything. It's just how it's going. There's nothing wrong with how it's going. It's suddenly like that. Or not, or not. It's what's happening. And it's not your life. This is that's so crazy. We are so convinced this is my body, this is my life. I have to deal with things, and especially when the body is feeling not well, then there can be being busy with that a lot. There's nothing wrong with anything. Being busy is not wrong. It's just being busy. Doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't have any meaning. Well, it's not wrong. Of course not. Just then there's a lot of thoughts. Yeah. And it can be an idea of, oh, those thoughts are meaningless, but that's a new idea. It's more energetic. Sometimes when it's energetic, and then some thoughts, you can't bother with them, something like that. So that's the energetic thing. Sometimes it's really in it, and sometimes there's just thoughts. So it's not about doing or understanding this. It's crazy to hear everything goes by itself. You're not important. it's That's crazy, because we think we are the most important. We are the center of this life, and we have to do it, or in one way or another, about understanding or trying to get. And then there's hearing, no, you don't exist. It's going by itself in one way or another. You don't know how or what. It's meaningless. Oh God, that's crazy.
Hi, Rose.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
sorry, I don't have my camera on. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like going to the doctor or making like a heart meditation would be the same thing.
It's different, but nothing is, both is not more important or meaningful as something else. No, in that way, it's the same. As it's not important. No,
Yeah.
can happen.
Like
That can happen, or something else. Yeah.
like in the sense that the apparent body just decide to do what it wants to do. No.
But the body isn't real, so it's more energy in that way
Right.
or
Yeah. Yeah.
that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter what it is. And we are so into my life that it seems
Right.
to matter. Yeah. Doesn't mean that's better. You can't say, oh, it doesn't matter, because mm, that's a way, that's nihilism, I think. It's more like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
nothing matters. Yeah, duh. In that way, it's not, there can be huge pain. You can't, and then you don't say in that moment, oh, it doesn't matter. No, it's
No.
huge pain. Yeah.
But it's so funny how decisions are being made because it's like so many times it's like nearly happening by itself. I mean, there
Yeah.
used to be a lot of, yeah, again, thinking like to do the meditation or not, or like
Yeah.
to go to the doctor or not.
Yeah.
And it's like more
Yeah.
so more immediate. And yeah,
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, it can feel so important.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, what is the best to do? Because if I don't have the right one, then maybe maybe I die, or maybe it's
Yeah,
going
exactly.
worse,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
And it's not like that I don't care, but there's something changed. I don't know what it is. Of course, if I have to do something, I will do it. But it's like there's like the heaviness or all this.
Uh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think that's
Yeah. That's more. It's more that the importance and the heaviness and all that.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, that can
yeah,
change. Yeah,
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And also another thing that I was seeing, it's like at the moment there is a lot of trauma being released from the apparent body, like really like things that really very difficult, and like when they're not there anymore, it's so strange, the feeling like where are they and how they used to be so so important and difficult, and like what I mean, like the traumatic stories are gone,
Ah,
go
the
away.
stories. Mm.
Yeah, like the past, and this has happened, or this is what's very
Mm.
difficult, and it's so strange, like when it's not there anymore, because only then I can say it's not important, or it never happened. But as long as it's still like running in the system,
Yeah.
it seems to be very, very important. It seems to be like very, essential to have the stories.
Yeah. Yeah. When there can be that pain, or that contracted energy or feelings, I don't know. Well, without a story, without a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
past. Yeah.
It This week was really crazy, because it's like when it's not there, it's like, wow. I
Yeah.
was like, there was no words for it, because
Yeah. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
used
Yeah.
yeah, it used to be
Yeah.
everything for me.
Yeah. And then it's that feeling can be there suddenly, and there can be walking around with that and being busy with cooking and all that, and suddenly it's like, oh yeah, oh, it's not there anymore. It's just in that way. It's just funny. Yeah.
But the thing that it's not clear what is not there. It's like something disappeared. It's not really.
Yeah, it's holding on to that I'm
Yes,
living my
yes,
life and I have a
yeah,
past, and this I feel it because of that, and then oh my God, I got already
yeah,
like
yeah,
Jesus. Well,
yeah,
that can be so convincing. Of
yeah,
course, it's that there's nothing wrong with that, but that it's meaningless. But wow, it can be so strong, and being busy with that and trying
yeah,
to
yeah.
heal or whatever. Yeah, it's
And
going
there
by
was,
itself. Oh my God.
yeah. Who did
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. What did happen?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But at the same time, there was sometimes just for a few moments like a fear, because the body
mm,
was so, I think, so got used to have it all the time in the body, and suddenly
oh
it's not
yeah,
there. There was just like
yeah.
like yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, a fear like, oh, do I do enough, or do I fool myself, or things like that.
Yeah, but maybe like something in the body somewhere was thinking like, oh, what I'm going to do now without that story? What I'm going
Yeah,
to do
yeah,
now
yeah.
without that feeling, the
Yeah, can be.
sensation? It was such a habit. Yeah, such a
Yeah,
habit.
yeah.
Yeah,
And sometimes those thoughts can come back, and after a while, when there's not a reaction or no one home, then they fall
yeah, yeah,
away.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
Interesting. Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, like really very, very intense feeling, and then suddenly it's not there. It's so yeah, it's
yeah,
weird. Really
yeah.
weird.
That's where. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
because they become to be part of the identity during life. You think this is like what you are and how you are, and
yeah.
as long as it's still there, it feels like yeah, it's very normal. It's very normal to have all that stuff, all the heavy
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, look around and everybody is going,
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah, yeah,
not everybody, but a lot of
yeah,
people. And yeah, of course. And it's crazy when that's so long, it's part of your life, and then suddenly it's not so much there anymore. It's like, in a way, it's like a loss. Like, oh, it's more
yeah,
empty.
yeah.
It's great.
It's very
Yeah,
very crazy thing. Yeah, it's
yeah, I can hear
very
that.
very relieving, but also very so different. So
Yeah, 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 yeah. Sure, sure. Yeah. You get used to it, but it's for a while. It can be like, oh, this a bit strange. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Anyway, thank you.
yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Hi, Rose.
Hi.
It's you know it's really crazy because it's not about relaxation, and it can give a lot of relaxation. It's
No, it's about everything.
yeah.
Yeah. It's what's happening is a sort of medicine to feel better when I feel sad. Yeah. Yeah, well, you're not the only one. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Then they're saying what's happening. When you feel like, oh, hallelujah, and then you don't say it's what's happening because that makes it a little bit not that exciting. So you don't do that. Yeah. When there's sadness, then there's sadness. It's full on. It's that energy, sadness. There's nothing wrong or right with that. It's that energy. It's or something else. There's that constant idea there's something wrong with what's going on. There's something not right yet, or I don't, this is not enough, or I don't feel good, and what can I do? And all it's a constant trying to feel better or in any way to do something about what's going on. So in the end, I'm clean or empty or there's no me anymore. It's that embodied idea and belief that there's something missing, there's something wrong, there's something not right yet. And there's a hope for some day there will be a loss of the me or something else that vanishes, and then suddenly there's this. It's already this. It's already this. And this is everything. So there's no choice in whatever it's going on. It's that what is happening. It's not even happening to you. There is no you. There is no center. It's that sensation, that sadness is what's happening. It's not saying that to yourself. When there's sadness, it's that feeling can be there for a while. It's full on in that way it's coming. It can be strong, it can be very subtle. And sometimes they're saying like, oh, I don't feel it enough or something. No, it's exactly how it's felt. That's what's happening. So it can't be more. It can't be wrong. It can't be too little. All that It's making it into something else. That's what that whole idea about when I'm having my life and I am inside and not. It's an illusion, a misunderstanding that there's someone inside, and that you are the leader of your life, and you have to do it. That's the misunderstanding. There is already no one. So all those ideas can be so embodied. So it's not like, oh, I won't do that anymore, because there's no one deciding anything. It's energetic. So when there's a lot of ideas coming and trying to change, then that's what's going on. It's energetic. There's nothing wrong or right with it. It's life in that way. So it's already complete. Maybe it's not like the idea you have about when there's freedom or it's liberation. Liberation is that it's everything. It's unconditional. It's unconditional love. Life is that. There are no conditions. This is not like this is better than that. This is higher or lower. There is no higher and lower or better and worse or all that. It's what it is. Exactly that. And suddenly what it is suddenly there without anything else than just what it is. And it's like, oh yeah, of course, it's that simple and in a way amazing. And it can feel like shit. And still it's like, oh, that's so strange. And it doesn't mean it's less. Maybe it's even more pain or feeling despair or anything. There can be all kind of feelings. You don't know where they come from. It's energetic. It's in the air, you could say, or something. It's like clouds and the table, and there can be a feeling. There can be the wind. It's that what is happening. There's no way to change it. There can be an idea to trying to do that. It's meaningless. It is not wrong. It's just what's going on. There are a lot of ideas, and they can be so embodied and so busy with what's going on. It's already that what's happening. It's complete as it is. Exactly that phase, that sensation, that feeling, that room with a wall like that. It's exactly as it is. There's nothing wrong or right with that. Nothing is more important than anything else. It's what it is, just like that. It's singular, not for anyone. It's what it is. Thank you. Thank you. Mm. Mm.
Thank you, Roes.
Thank you.
Bye
Hi,
bye.
Frederik. Hi.